Hi everyone, welcome to another High Videocast, our High Videocast number 10. And with this special number, we have already special guests with us today to talk about AI, UX, and how they work along to create beautiful designs and experiences. Today, we have Ariel Cardeal with us. He's an researcher, an independent researcher in the areas of UX and AI. And as always, we have our beautiful Natali with us, our UX designer and the master of this high videocast scene.
Hello, everyone.
Hi Ariel. Hi Natali.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh, we are ready to kick this videocast on, and without further to add, and in case you have already presented yourselves to the ones listening at home, I have a question for Ariel because you are the special guest here, and we want to treat you as a special guest here. Can you please introduce yourself and talk about your background in the fields of UX, design, and research, and as well as any experience you have with AI integrations with UX, because that's the topic we are going to talk about today.
Okay, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Ariel. I have been working in UX since 2018. I have started working on an IT consultancy here in Brazil. I was the only researcher there in this company with more than 1,000 of employees. All of them were engineers, so I was the only designer and researcher at that time. Then I moved to a service design studio within another IT company. And thereafter, I went to work on two unicorns here in Brazil, two companies that reached the value of 1 billion. That was Neon, the fintech Neon, and an ID tech which is Único, which handles digital identities in Brazil.
Okay.
Now I'm working as a service designer and a UX researcher in specialist here in one of the major healthcare companies in the country. And previously than that, I had a career as a trend forecaster and cultural researcher
Hmm.
working for Trend Watching, the Futures Company, and other companies. Also as a freelancer for some time. Actually, I don't have much experience integrating artificial intelligence in my work as a user experience researcher, but I have a lot of interest in how we as humans interact with other sentient entities that are not other animals. So, which I think is pretty similar to interacting with AI. My experience as a trend researcher taught me to look more about for those things that did not change so much. To pay attention to those larger movements and macro trends. So while working as a trend researcher for trend watching a decade ago, we were already foreseeing some of those changes. So we were seeing the emergency of those new technologies like artificial intelligence and how those technologies were becoming embedded to our daily lives and our routines. So when I moved to this field of UX and design research, I always wondered when it might happen. And then suddenly, last past year, this happened
Exactly.
after the release of
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and everyone was freaking out. Oh my God, what's happening? So I started to look more to have a deeper look in this topic.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because right now it's a not topic, and but before that you were already working on it, and I
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
and now I think that the ones at home can see how valuable you are to this conversation today. So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, but let me get back to UX research as we were
Hmm.
talking about, and as you
Hmm.
were when you were here presenting yourself, like UX research plays a very big role in like creating user-centered experiences.
Hmm.
Um, what are some of the strategies that you
Hmm.
found that are effective in optimizing US research activities to gather valuable insights and create these user-centered experiences?
Good question. And well, from my experience, doing UX research in any organization is a non-linear process. So it's hard to follow step by step, you know. So I also believe that we should be agnostic to technologies and applications. So for me, it's more like by knowing the fundamental principles and being aware of context. Context is king. So we need to pay a lot of attention to the context. What I have been trying to apply for myself is a four principle framework that I have developed myself, which is based in those 4 points. In any organization, we'll probably find those same aspects, which are the individuals, which are the users, your users or stakeholders, the social systems where they are placed, the organization you are working with, and the artifacts, digital or not, that are or will be mediating those relationships between individuals within those social systems. So, in any context where UX research is done, you probably will find those aspects. And for example, once you find yourself with a tight deadline, for example, and you need to validate an user interface,
Yeah.
which can be an artifact, right? You probably work with individuals that are more approximate to the profile of the target user. So now, is that enough? Is that enough for validation to have a proxy and not the users? It's a question. If
Yeah.
that's so, when you ask that question for yourself, you get back to the organization and you check it, and then you check what are the risks for the organization if you go to for user proxies instead of users. So that's the kind of thing that, for example, is if that's okay for the organization to validate the prototype, an interface with user proxies, you can go ahead and validate with synthetic users from AI, for example.
Okay.
No, I joking.
Okay.
In this case, we always need to be aware of the risks of such kind of validation with proxies. And the ideal scenario would be to triangulate different data, both qualitative and when you look for individual perspectives, and quantitative, which will be, for me, quantitative research is more about trying to find the repetition of patterns among the social systems those individuals inhabit, right? So I could go into more detail for this framework, but we can leave it for another time. But that's the framework that I use. It's not a strategy, but it's for basic principle that I use to guide myself in any chaotic environment as an organization that
Yes.
I work on.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. You mentioned that you created that process, because one of the things that we do here in High Interactive, we follow a design thinking process, but usually we don't stick to it. We try to always review and update our process, our methodologies of research, and ensures how we can continuous improve that. We don't have a specific process like you have, but I think that really interesting. And one other thing that you mentioned is sometimes when we have little time to validate what we are doing with research activities,
Mhm.
how we can do in this little time to validate those assumptions that we are creating to have a better result. So that's pretty cool. You mentioned those things that those solutions that you found to have a better result at the end.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I think that it's more like having the basic. I like this term in English, which is the building blocks. It's like when you have the in this when I came up with this framework, I was trying to figure out what are the basic building blocks that you will ever find in any kind of organization. You know, so and you ever find those four building blocks, like okay, you have these little pieces which are the individuals, you have the organization, which are the goals, the OKRs, the risks that you need to be aware of, and you have the artifacts because you are designing something. So you
Yeah.
probably will be introducing a new protocol, a new policy, or a new system, a new technology, or you have and of course you have the social systems. I think that for me this one is one of the most important because
Yes, that's
I
what
always
I
need
was
to
going
think
to
in
say. It's the
systems.
most relevant one because most of the time they have a lot of influence on the results.
Hmm.
And if we were able to bring them to our side and make them view the impact of what we are doing and participate on those decisions, we probably will have better results, right?
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. And yeah, that leads me also to another question that I have, and this is more regarding Ariel's work, and it's about AI. Right now, we are going to talk about AI and about the study that you've led with the Observe.
Okay.
Like AI, as we've talked before, is playing a very big role here in various industries right now. It's like the
Hmm.
hot topic of the moment. Everyone wants to take advantage of like AI features that can benefit every business and every institution and whatsoever. And the question I want to ask is like how AI can impact the field of UX design and what opportunities does it brings to improve user experiences. And that regarding the some results that you may came up with the study in Observe, if you can share some of them with us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of things are changing, right? First of all, Jacob Nielsen, Jacob Nielsen from Nielsen Norman Group. Uh, Nielsen himself has proclaimed that we are witnessing the change of a paradigm in user interface. We are
Yes.
going into the third user interface paradigm
Yeah.
since from the beginning of the computer era, right? So in the first paradigm was the batch processing. In this paradigm, users specified the complete workflow of everything they wanted to a computer, right? Then we moved to command-based interaction design. And this second paradigm is the paradigm that we are living right now, right?
Yeah.
And now with the new AI systems, the user no longer tells the computer what to do, but now we tell the computer what outcome we want the computer delivers to us. So it's more like and he calls it the intent-based paradigm on user interface. Like now I'm telling the computer I can think about what I need, and I don't need anymore to to know or be expert to come up with the results that I want. Like it's more like I
Just
just
need
want
to
this.
ask what we need, right?
What?
We just need to ask what we need and see what the systems are going to tell us.
Yeah, yeah, this changes everything. And I remember a video that I saw from Scott Galloway some years ago. It was like 2017 or 2018, something like this. And he pointed out in that conversation that conversational interfaces would change the way we buy groceries, for example. So instead of you going to an e-commerce website and going into the search bar and typing there, oh, I need alkaline batteries, and then the system will come up for you. We come with the results of a list of pictures and names and brands that you would like to buy. And now, not now, but that some years ago, we were also um, able to do this. You can ask to Alexa, Alexa, I need a pack. I need a pack of alkaline batteries, and then the result that Alexa will come for you. It's something that you would never imagine. Like, okay, this is the brand. Have one only choice or two brands that you can buy. So instead of showing you a visual interface, a bunch of different options, you can show. Alexa will recommend you a short list containing the best three options, for example.
Yeah.
So it's changed everything. And now on our side, see another change, which is for the people who build those kind of systems. Um, I can quote for you at least two design tools that are intent based for design. So, for example, you have UWizard. I don't know if you have heard about this tool. And Versal is another one, and both of them enable anyone to describe what they want to be shown in an interface, and you can twist and edit according to your preference after the machine delivers you this result. So think about that. We are not only making easier for consumers to navigate the systems they interact, uh, but we are also making it easier for people to build such digital products, and
And
there's a lot of opportunities also in that.
it's funny because now they're, well, using those kinds of tools. Now, instead of our result will be just using our experience and the context that we already have uh, with the research, or well, with whatever we did before to create that interface.
Hmm.
um, Probably our knowledge and our context would not, well, we will not just use that. We will have the context of the other person, the machine learning, that
Hmm.
Yeah.
will show us result that we probably or we could not come up with them, because, well, the AI could have more context and other ways of view things, and this could accelerate our job and give us more time to work on a better results. Like, well, I have all those hypotheses that AI helped me to create.
Hmm.
Now I can look at them and rearrange them, taking the context that I have talking to people, the inputs that I came up on the research, and, well, optimize my work and have a better result, and staying relevant on that result, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, but yeah, like for me that I'm not in the field of UX, it's kind of hard for me to think like, do you make your decisions like 100% AI driven with AI driven insights, or like the traditional human centered insights? Like, do you balance that? Like, how do you know? How do you feel like, yeah, I need to take a decision on this project, and I have these traditional user centered insights, and I have these AI driven insights. How do I find a balance so I can create better user experiences and designs?
Hmm. Yeah, good question. Actually, I have two frameworks that help myself to think about this. One of them is it comes from Ethan Malik. He's a teacher at some university in the U.S., and he wrote this article saying that. It's about how you are doing the onboarding of your AI intern. So it's like, okay, the first approach that we can have to towards AI and using an AI in our daily jobs, in your routine, is to think about AI as an intern. And when you have an internet any organization, you have some tasks that you do not delegate for the intern, right? And you have tasks that you will delegate for him or she, and then you will always be overseeing what they are doing. Like, you need to check, you need to double check the results, those kind of things. And there are some tasks, and nowadays we don't have so much because we cannot rely so much on AI results. But there are some tasks that we can delegate and we don't need to check. Right, but most of them we still need to check. We still need to double check. This is one of the frameworks that I use, and the other framework that I use to mental model to think about AI is AI as a calculator for words. I think this is a beautiful way, is an elegant way to think about AI, because um, it's the same. For example, they are tools for working with language. So this means that you need to fact check for them, but they can help you by summarizing data, answering questions about the content you provided, and
Yes,
they can
clusters, right?
suggest titles. What?
Yeah. Find clusters between topics when we have a little big amount of data that we want to analyze. That would help us very much.
Yeah, yeah, and regarding the this work that I have, this project that I have done with Observe, I was using AI to make the analysis of the content, to give the audience a little bit of context about about this project. Observe is the first conference in Brazil that talks about user experience research. I was part of the founding team back in 2020, and soon the conference became evolved into a community, right?
Yeah.
And then we have been discussing a lot about the practice of UX in the field, and also trying to always welcome the newcomers. Then, since the recent developments of AI, I talked with Pedro and Laura, which are the part of the organization. We have worked before in other past editions of Observe. And then I asked, then, what if we do research about what are the possible impacts of generative AI in UX research? Then I got back to my experience of Farsight and Trend Forecast, and I tried to assemble different methods and to have a vision about that. So for me, when we work, when we do some research, trying to look for the future, we always need to think about it collectively, because if I have my vision about the future, João has another vision, Natalie has another vision. We have different visions, and there is no future. There's no the future does not exist. So
Yes.
the future
Nobody
is ours
talks
to be
about that.
created.
Yeah.
We need to think about it collectively. So what I have done was, I was inspired by the Delphi method, which is a way to collect the perspectives from experts from the field. Um, and then I shared this questionnaire with the community. Me and the Observe team, we shared the questionnaire, trying to collect those different perspectives among the Brazilian community. And this also even reached out overseas, like reached Natalie has participated also in the research. And then we gathered all of those perspectives. So how AI might impact the field of UX research. And after we gathered off those different perspectives, we had at least 28 scenarios that I have grouped after 53 respondents working in the field of UX and design. And those scenarios were covering at least six different aspects of the practice of UX research and how it could be impacted by generative AI. So after we have done that, we started to think on how we could expand those visions. Then we came up with this exercise using the features wheel, which is another tool using in Farsight to expand your vision on the unintended consequences of a trend or an event that might impact a certain field or area. So once the future doesn't exist, as I said before, you can say that anything that anyone says about the future is valid. You know, because the future, I can say anything about the future. Oh, in the future we have flying cars. We can have flying cars in the future. I didn't say when, but some
Have constraints, right?
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
about constraints, right? Totally. And we cannot study the future, but we can study the images of the future that people have. So when we did this questionnaire, we gathered images of the future that people had, right? So after we did this, we did this exercise, we gathered of all of these images, and we tried to expand it. Uh, so, something that we have some patterns that we have seen there was, for example, for sure that those technologies might help us to do our jobs. It is we can be certain for that. You can be 100% certain of that AI will help us doing our jobs as UX researchers. Um, we might have processes that will be leveraged by AI, but we need always to be aware of biases and hallucinations. I think that hallucinations won't pass. How can I say is we will not get rid of hallucinations so soon. I think that we will have hallucinations from AI for a long time. I think that this will be always happening. So that's why we will always need human supervision while using those kind of technology. Another thing that we need to keep in mind is that um, we will leverage insights by using those kind of technologies. And there's a thing that uh, can change our minds on how we are using those new technologies is that we probably will be able to, and this emerges in the field in the workshop that we have done, is that we will amplify our vision of insights. We will probably see things that we were not able to see before AI. That that
Right.
that's this is a thing that is very interesting because it's kind of uh, amplifying, like expanding the human vision, like
It's
trying
like
to.
you are alone. Well, you have your team, or you are alone doing a specific research, but then with AI, it's like you have a team of several another workers with you that can provide different perspectives and different experience or context about the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly, exactly. Eh,
Sure.
yeah, no, yeah, and one another the last thing that I think about it is like try to imagine. You know that, for example, bees can see a spectrum of light that we as humans cannot perceive, right? And I think
Mhm.
that AI is kind of the same thing. Like it's like AI is the kind of technology that can enable us to see more than the spectrum of insights that we can
Yes.
perceive
Or
right
for
now.
example, other thing that I am remember that I am thinking is, for example, here in I'm interactive, most of the times when we are working with our clients and their applications, they uh, are very technical fields or very technical areas or contexts, um, the ones that we don't have knowledge about. We bring our user experience knowledge to help them find a
Mm,
better solution for their specific cases, but we always need to learn about their field. Um,
mm,
and uh, sometimes when we need to prepare an interview or how we are going to prepare ourselves to understand their problem, talk to them, AI can help us with that first knowledge that we need to start a conversation and to talk the same language and to make the right questions. So
mhm,
it's like we are going to start with assumptions that we learn with AI to help start the conversation with our clients for those very technical topics that we would not know how to talk about it. And this is a big help for us to help us start to talking the same language with our client in different topics and really help them and to create a better and relevant result for them for them.
yeah. Yeah, because that's a feature that AI has, that it allows personalization to every problem you want to address. I'll call it problem, but like every project, everything you want to address, AI enables you to personalize data and insights for that specific matter. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's also a question that I would like to ask you both. Like, do you have any examples? Natalie briefly talked about it, but like, do you have any example of like how AI driven insights and AI driven personalization had been successfully implemented in a project or whatsoever, and it improved users' interaction with a product or a service? How, if you have an example of how this AI driven personalization impact a project in any kind of way?
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think that social media is 100% about it.
Yeah.
You know, everything that we see on social media is personalized because we have machines learning about us
Yeah.
and our taste about cute cats and
Yeah, like that's the good part of it, but it's also kind of scary, don't you think? Like,
yeah, yeah, totally.
yeah,
And
but-
yeah, I don't think that, and I don't think that that there I don't think that this is something that we really need, like the personalization. I think that because I was discussing with a colleague those days about personalization, and if you think about personalization, goes in hand with identification, because for me to deliver you a personalized experience, I need to identificate you. I need to know a lot of
It's
about
about
you.
you, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have any kind specific project in that I can remember using AI to deliver a personalized experience. But and I also think that personalization has become kind of a commodity nowadays. When we think about experiences like social media, for example, it's a commodity in digital world, and I think that yes, we are able, and it's even easier to do that, like uh, by knowing people and giving their personal data to machine learning algorithms and deliver personal experiences.
Okay.
But I think that instead we might be trying to deliver more connections, like not only thinking about the individuals, but more trying to connect them among themselves. I think that we need more collective experiences and communal experiences, like sharing things together
Yeah.
and and talking with each other, like those kind of things, I think. And yeah, this also can be mediated by artificial intelligence. We always make these we always use the term artificial intelligence to refer to machine learning algorithms, right? So I think this is more like about not trying so much to look look people in depth on how their individual experiences can shape personalized experiences, but more about maybe trying to look in the surface and trying to connect off those surfaces of people. No,
Mhm.
it's clear for you.
Yeah.
Uh, I was thinking that about what you were saying, that, for example, we can use that ability of artificial intelligence to imagine, as a client, I have an application, an internal application, for example, for my workers, and they are not using it, and I don't know why. So I'm going to start doing research, try to understand what is the problem, because I am losing money, and I am going to call to a UX designer expert, ideally. um, and well, we are going to try to understand why our this group of people, workers of this specific field, don't use it as we like, and how can we make them be more productive with that. And with AI we can use it to help us understand how we can, well, as a worker for specific app, using it, how the system can learn my behavior
Yeah.
and tell that to the companies, or the one that are trying to improve the application, uh, help collect that information, so that I can know how I can improve it, identify patterns that the majority of the workers do, and say, so if they are always, I don't know if this that is a good example, but if they are always taking pictures of something to show, I don't know, a product that it's not available to sell, and I don't have that on my app, I know that I need to add something that make the worker to see this is really going to help me, because I am not going to do this repetitive work or frequent task,
Hmm.
and I will have more time to do other thing, and I will be more productive, I will be happier. I think in well, we have that side of a personalization for a group of people who does a specific thing, and how we can find those activities that they do frequently using an application, and AI could help us with that.
Yeah.
And we have the other part that is more personal, and I think it's a consequence of the evolution of the technology. That is, we are so connected, and we have everything everywhere. We have this globalization of things,
Hmm.
um, but we still want to be special and different in somehow. And
Hmm.
doing that, we end up being equal to everybody.
Yeah.
And I think one part of the AI is to try to find those differences and um help people with something that they specifically need, to make them feel really different. But at the end, well, we want to be different, but not so different.
Not so
Hmm.
different.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it makes sense, but
Yeah.
in my
Yeah,
mind, I think we have these two worlds.
yeah,
Yeah, because the difference is what connects us. Like,
Yes,
for example, I have a freaky hobby, and you also have the same freaky hobby. So this is the kind of difference that connects
connect
people.
us. Yeah, right.
yeah, sure, sure. But as we are getting to the end of this iVideocast, I wanted to ask you a concrete question about AI integration with UX. We have talked about personalization, as we've did before, like how to balance the work between traditional UX and now that with AI driven insights. But
Mhm.
like what I wanted to ask you, Ariel and Natalie, it's like uh, how do you measure the impact on a user experience, the impact of AI in a user experience? Are there specific metrics that you can tell the ones at home that you use to know if they were effective or not, or any kind of methodology to find this effectiveness of the integration of AI with UX?
Well, I haven't been in contact with it yet. I don't have so much reference on how to measure the impact of AI, and even because it's I think that's kind of a gray area. This is still a gray area
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us who work on technology, and I think that there are some principles that we should follow when trying to work with it. There is this project called UX of AI, and the uxofai.com, and you can find there's like 15 or 16 principles, and one of the things that they preach is to always be transparent about our intentions and about the use of AI. And for example, we should avoid escape the personality code. Like don't we are always trying to make our artificial intelligence to look like people, like you remember the Turing test, Alan Turing test. Like there was this belief that if an AI can simulate the behavior of a person, of a human, so and other humans cannot distinguish the behavior of a machine and the behavior of a person. So the machine is passed the test of Turing, the Turing test. So I think that we should avoid it because we are still, how can I say, we are using AI, but we are not even aware that we are using AI. That we are
Most
that
of the time.
what?
I was just commented most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, we are here talking about that topic, but most of the people probably are using and are not conscious that they are using it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's why it's for me it's difficult for now, and that's what I'm studying and reading a lot, and trying to figure out how to measure it, because yeah, there's a lot of things that are not yet how can I say, they're not yet established.
Established. Yeah,
We don't have the basis the base the base for work with AI already established.
Yeah.
I think that everyone, every specialist in the field is it's still debating. We are still debating what is happening, how we should handle it, uh,
Mm.
what are the impacts, and I think that we need to be very, we as technologists, I think that, and UX designers, I think that we need to be very responsible and transparent
Yeah.
while doing projects using this kind of technology.
Sure, and I think that's the main the main challenge for AI and its UX integration right now. It's like get out of that gray area, as you were saying, and like that leads me to the last question of this video cast. That it's like, what are the main challenges that you feel that the AI integration with UX has right now, and how do you see the future evolving for AI integration with UX? Like it's like, give me the present challenges and the how do you see it evolving in the future?
Cool, cool. So, yeah, we are already automating a lot of tasks. Uh, Interfaces being built with a single command. Data can be plugged also into prototypes and updated effectively and quickly, for example, and planning and analysis, as we saw in the research looking for the future of AI and UXR, we have foresaw it that planning, analysis, and synthesis of research will be leveraged by AI tools,
Mm,
as well as communication and collaboration among different stakeholders. Also, for example, think about having AI in during meetings that you have with stakeholders, with clients. Like, for example, here in Brazil, we have organizational design consultancy called Target Teo, and they are developing a bot that while you are making a meeting, while you are in a meeting, the bot is monitoring the time spent by each participant talking. For example, if you have two guys and one woman in the meeting, the bot can in real time measure how many time, how for how long those two guys are speaking, and not letting the woman talk, for example.
yeah,
This is possible right now by the use of AI, and this impacts not only the hard part of work, but also the soft skills, also the soft part of
yeah,
the
yeah,
work, the communication, etc. So I firmly believe that there are a lot of opportunities for us, for those who want to explore the emerging capacities that will be leveraged by those new technologies. Um, and also, we I think that by the research that we have done, we are this is due to be released soon. The first part of the report, we can
Please
read.
share with us.
Yeah, yeah, we'll share with you after we release. We can read those speculations from our respondents as unmet needs, for example, and desires that people have. When people speculate about the future of something, they are telling you the needs that they had, that they have, the desires that they have, their wants, for example. So that's the way we should read those kind of speculations. And when you read it, no, and when you read an unmet need or a desire, you have an opportunity to act on it also.
yeah,
So those opportunities are left open to be addressed. So that's one thing that we need to think. And yeah, I think that's the moment that we as UX designers and researchers should look and must appropriate our specialties and build the tools we always wanted to have. For example, I think that um, we should work on those opportunities, and that's what I think should be done. The future is ours to be created.
Okay, Ariel. Yeah, and I think that's a great way to finish this high video cast with that future perspective for AI integration with UX. I want to thank you for this great conversation, Ariel, and also Natalie. I think that the ones at home got really good insights from this conversation.
Yeah.
And let me say it because I haven't said it before. Besides dropping a like on this video, I would also advise you to check the description of the video because we have the links there for the Observe case study that Rial talked about before. And I think that it is really powerful for people to know and to get to know more about how it went and how it was and the impact it has on user experience. So yeah, thanks for the both of you. Thanks for the ones that stood by till the end of this video cast. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks and see ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.